Hi, Douglas Peacock here. Welcome. And this week's episode, we're going to touch on the coronavirus. Yes, it's a right hot topic that everyone's talking about, and there's a lot of people that are fearful out there. There's a lot of people that are maybe ignoring it, but unless you've been living under a rock, you've obviously heard about it. So, for the thing that I want to touch on and look at it from an energetic point of view, and what I want to do is share with you guys. I'm going to put a link up here to go to a site where I actually teach the gridding and how I've learnt to insulate myself as an energy healer and being able to work in many very contaminated areas. And the reason why I want to share these techniques with you is so, hey, if you may not get the bug, or if you go into an area where there is a bug, you can suit yourself up using these techniques, and they can help keep you from picking up the virus, from picking up the bug that's there. Now, one of the things, one of the things to look at here is I believe in these techniques really strongly. So do they work for me? Damn right. If you don't, well, you may get that sort of result for yourself. Oh, you don't believe it, so it doesn't work for you. Remember, the power of the intention and the power that you connect with this is where you go. So basically, when I look at the coronavirus and the vibration of what's going on with it, it's a dis-ease. So what it's doing is it's being able to attach to us where we are not whole in the vibration of health. So if we've got a weak immune system, it's able to attach to our immune system where it's not healthy. If we're under a lot of stress, things like that, all the things that all these doctors that have been telling you about your immune system, yeah, they're true. The bug can grab onto it. So how do we stop that? And from an energetic point of view, where I look at it is we come into the vibration of being perfect health or total health. And to do that, we have to bring our awareness to a certain level of consciousness. Now, you might be saying, oh, Doug, this can be a bit, out there wishy-washy or whatever. Yet I was lucky enough, whatever you want to say, back in 2015, where I had a knee operation and I got a bug in my knee, which made me very, very ill, to the fact that I actually went home, passed and came into the light, came back, and this is because I had more work to do. But the point I want to make here is that at the time, I was allowing it to leave it up to Western medicine. I was being lazy, didn't want to do anything. But it wasn't until I got a kick up the butt from the doctor who says, unless we get your stresses down to a normal level, we're going to have to operate on your leg, and you're going to end up having your ACL or your knees just going to be a wobbly bung piece of crap for the rest of your life. And for me, that was a big enough kick up the arse to say, hey Doug, you know how to heal yourself. Get yourself right, get in the right state of mind, get your vibration at the right frequency, and make this shit happen. Yeah, okay, at the time, I was in the hospital. I ended up getting a pick in my arm with a poking heaps of antibiotics on it. I had the infectious disease people working with me. They never found what the bug was. Yet I said I did these practices that I'm going to share with you and, on the link, and this is how I healed myself, and this is how I see a lot of people that I work with cancers and all types of terminal illnesses are able to bring themselves back into better health by taking these steps and keeping yourself right. So basically, at the end of the day, I brought myself down. I was given 2 weeks to get my stresses. They're supposed to be around about on their range or their graph, around about between 510 was really high. Mine was at 107. So I was a little bit crook at the end of the day. So they said I had to get it down under 45 within 2 weeks, or they were going to operate on me. And I said, hell no, you're not doing that. So within the 2 weeks, I went and did my practices. And one of the things that I looked at is, yes, there's this bug and this virus that is attacking me, or attacking my system, because I'm allowing myself to be in dis-ease. And I made a strong point. I went, hell no. And it was like if you've seen the movie and Lord of the Rings when Gandalf gets his stick and goes, bang, you shall not pass. That's more or less what I did. I went, you shall not pass. What came up around my energy field was all the beliefs and all the fears and all the worries and all the bullshit that I'd been allowing to infiltrate my energy field. And when I made that statement and held it with a conviction of knowingness in myself, that I know my body can heal itself. And when you know your body can heal itself, you will stay in perfect health. And so I went into this place, and yes, I was battered by all these things, by these energies trying to stimulate that virus or that bug to try and get through. One of the things that happened is I knew that at the moment I wasn't in total health, but my focus was perfect health. And I just locked on and only saw perfect health. I would not allow anything in. But one of the things along the way that I want you to understand, and this is what happens with people, and if you find someone ends up getting this virus or bug, this is just what it looks like at the moment. Yeah, they've been sick because they may have been under stress or their immune system may be weak. But take the vitamins, do the good food, and know yourself as perfect health. And when you lock in, you keep walking with just nothing else but being total health. And everything that's happening to you along the way, the fevers and the shit that goes on, that's just what it looks like as you bring yourself back into perfect health. Now, in doing that, within the 2 weeks that I had, I got my stresses down to under 44. And then he says, okay, you've got another week to get it down under 20. And then within that week, we dropped it down to 19. And they said, we don't know what you're doing, but it's working, keep doing it. And, these doctors don't believe in the energy medicine like I do. So they just sort of looked at it and went, well, we don't know. And so I continued to do that. And within, they were going to have me on the antibiotics for like 8 weeks. I was off them within like five or six, somewhere like that, because they were no longer needed because it was cleaning up. And the infectious disease doctors come and said to me, we don't know what the bug was, but it seems to have taken, it seems to be gone and you seem to be okay now. And, it took me a little while longer to get myself back to be out there running around like I am now. And but it was a process. The whole time I held on to that position of being perfect health. Now, why I say that to you is to know that you can heal yourself and know that you can be fine in this pandemic or what they're calling a pandemic of energy. But when we keep ourselves in the light, we can move through it. And these techniques I want to share with you is just ways that you can insulate yourself so that the bug will tend to fall off when you hold yourself in this light. But the strength of your belief, the strength of your knowingness is like a muscle, and you need to work it. You need to be able to hold yourself in that vibration. And guess what? You'll fall off. We all do. But you don't beat yourself up. You just come back and allow yourself to move forward. Now, the other thing I wanted to touch on in this is out there, there's a lot of people in fear. And they're doing crazy stuff, like living in Australia here, the toilet rolls has become a bit of a joke. But people do that because they are worried and they want to protect their loved ones. Now, one of the things that we must become aware of when we're looking at this, if we start judging them, we are throwing stress on ourselves about what they're doing. They're doing what they're doing because they are, because of whatever's going on for them. So we do not judge them. We keep our hearts open and hope for them and wish them love that they can find their way through the pathway. We do not know their situation, so who be us to judge? And so one of the things that I really would like to share the message and get out there is, keep an open heart. People are going through all sorts of things, and people deal with situations differently. Just because someone's needing to stock up whole lots of stuff doesn't mean they're necessarily bad. It just means that's how they deal with that problem. You may not need to do it the same way. So they're not wrong necessarily, and you're not right necessarily. You're just different. And when we can remember that in any situation, we can come back to love. One of the biggest things that I teach all my clients is when you come up against this resistance and this rise inside of you where you start judging people, is come back and ask, what's the truth? What's the truth actually going on here? And if you come into the truth and you ask the truth and you start getting all these voices and these stories and that's all probably bullshit. Don't lie to yourself. You think it's your truth, but it's coming from your belief systems. The truth will come to you in two ways. It'll either just be pure light, pure gold light. That's the way I tend to see it. It'll be just pure light. Or there'll be a deep peace within inside of yourself. And when you come to that space of quietness and peace, you know you're now aligning with the universal truth. And why I say there's a gold light, for me when I see it, you then see the pathway to follow through. So all the bullshit stories that your ego's trying to tell you and all that and all the worry and the fear, it's all just stories, just cut it away. I was lucky enough when I had that disease to learn that really strongly. And this is what I try to pass on to people, is to actually know this stuff, know the truth, not the stories, not what your mind's telling you, not what your belief systems are telling you. Come back to the truth within. And you'll be guided through the pathway for you through this uncertain times. And this uncertain times, there's also so many opportunities to maybe do things differently. At the beginning of the year, no doubt, you had yourself some goals of what you were wanting to achieve. There's no need to waver from the goals. It's just the pathway's taking a different road, and allow yourself to follow that pathway. It's always perfect. It's perfect for what you need to pick up along the way. So, hey, wishing you well, be safe, be wise in what you're doing, and have a look at this video that I put together. This is the practice that I teach people on how to heal people, how to go into any energy and keep yourself safe. This is the same as one of the practices I teach my son when he's around chaotic energy where there's all lots of kids going on sporting days, and half of them are hyped up on sugar and things like this, and they're running all over the place, and some of the energy can be quite disturbing and quite get ungrounded, and they find themselves getting angry and getting all whacked out. And what I do is I teach them these processes. So then all I say to him nowadays when he goes into things, hey, light up. And he lights himself up. And what he does is he keeps himself conscious as he steps into the environment. And he comes out clean. He's just like a dog coming out of the water. When he comes out of the water, gives himself a bit of a shake, and all the crap falls off because it hasn't penetrated into his where he may not have felt as confident as he could have. And so what I want you to do is to be able to use this. So if, say, someone in your household there, if you're doing the quarantine and you're having to self-isolate, and when someone's got the virus, how to keep yourself safe while you're moving in amongst it. And you continually keep doing the practice, and what I'll share with you, and it just works. The shit just works. I'm not going to try and convince you, it just works. I've seen too many people heal themselves in life by using these skills. And these were channeled to me back in 1998, because I was touring around the world a lot, and I was going into some pretty unstable energies, and I was needing to be able to keep myself safe and keep my energy up. And this is what I was shown, so I'll share it with you guys. So click on the link and you'll come through to a landing page, and enjoy. Again, be safe, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care. Done.